Okay, hi guys. So finally I finished my Crimean Tatar host. These are all 15 millimeter by fire and sword miniatures. This is for my Battle of Satsora game is why I got these. However, I can use them for many other campaigns and battles. The Crimean Tatars, the Crimean Khanate was a vassal of the Ottoman Empire, but also undertook their own independent operations as well at various times. It existed from about the 15th century to the 18th century when they were, as a state that is, when they were conquered by Russia in the 1770s or 1780s. I forget the precise date of the treaty. Obviously, there's still Crimean Tatars today. They're an ethnic group in Russia, although only in the last, I think, since 30, 40 years that they've managed to return to the Crimea after they were, unfortunately, forced out of the region by Stalin during the Soviet Union. But anyway, that's a rough overview, but these are Crimean Tatars that are for the 16th or 17th century period. This is one skirmish box from By Fire and Sword, the Tatar skirmish set, plus an additional pack of Tatars. Now there is one more thing that I haven't painted yet, but it's not really a military unit. It's kind of the rabble that they would, they're supposed to like send in front of the army as cannon fodder type of thing, but I think I'm going to use this more as camp baggage or like an objective in my games of, captives, because the Tatars were I did do a lot of slave raiding in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth border region. They were it was kind of a source of friction between Poland and the Ottoman Empire, kind of mutual problems, whereas the Poles were the overlords of the Cossacks, and the Ottomans, of course, were the Crimean overlords. And that was one of the issues that led to the 1620 campaign and battle of Satsora that I've been developing for a convention game. But anyway, that aside, so I finally finished everything. I just finished the commander. That's why the glue is still wet. I gave the command figures blue. The Crimean Tatar flag is like a light blue, kind of like this, with a yellow device in the middle. So I gave them blue to symbolize that. It's, just my own kind of artistic interpretation. Then I didn't have any actual Crimean banners, but I did have another Ottoman. I have several of these By Fire and Sword Ottoman flag sheets. So I used this green one because it's more kind of unique looking. I think this would make a good Safavid banner too, but anyway, I think I do need to work on painting the edges to clean it up a little bit, but I just wanted to put a banner on there, just to make it look done. The other thing is my cat likes to chew on the banners, so I'm not sure how much effort I should put into them. Anyway, and over here, I've got just a bunch with bows and swords, and I did make some of these into kind of command units. Now on the artwork for this skirmish set, it doesn't really show clear. It has a couple clear command units, but the Tatars themselves are kind of mixed with different weapons and stuff. But for my game, I figure if I need a spare Tatar command group, I can pull one of these, off, because it's got this I have this kind of hat on the riding crop, so I figure, you know, if I need another Tatar leader, I can do that. And then I have, this was the Lance unit. I think I was probably supposed to trim these down, but, you know, they'll just have a Lance unit, you know, kind of a heavier cavalry group. Then we've got some with spears. I may just do the same profile for these two, or give them something else entirely. I haven't decided yet, but you know, this is more about like kind of the painting and modeling side of it. The way the Tatars are painted in the like Fire and Sword official art is a lot of like earth tones. A lot of the period art that I found showed them like in a variety of different colors. Some earth tones, yeah, but also other, you know, colors. So I decided to try and stick to kind of the spirit of earth tones. So I did like some of these desert yellow on a lot of them, or like kind of a darker green. I did give blue to some of them because in the Michael Paradovsky book on the Hutin War, one of the illustrations did show a Nogai Tatar in like a dark blue. So I figured, you know, why not? And over here, again, I think if you follow kind of the Fire and Sword box set, you know, there's no instructions, but if you follow the pictures, like the guys with these kind of weapons are supposed to be mixed in, but I made them their own kind of unit. I don't know if I'll give them a special listing in my game, but, you know, they just have different weapons. I mean, they all do. I guess these guys don't really have a bow and arrow, a bunch of them, but, you know, I think maybe I could give them some kind of special role, or they can just look different, you know, just visually be different for my purposes, but pretty versatile figures. They could probably also represent other kind of steppe peoples in you know, kind of that near Eurasia region. So yeah, this is what I've got going on. I'm pretty happy. Got another, not quite an army, I don't think, but it's a small army, I guess. You know, this would be pretty good to represent like a smaller raiding force. Usually the Tatars that were attached to the Ottoman army were pretty numerous, actually. And one of this late 17th century Polish engraving that I found on on a database. I think I posted it on the community tab at one point, but you know, it shows the Tatars as being pretty large in conjunction with the Ottoman army, you know, pretty numerous, I should say. But anyway, you know, I can always do more. I may add more to this, you know, for my game, depending on, you know, monetary cost and time constraints and all that, because at Satsura, they had quite a few Crimean Tatars, but there actually seemed to have been more Nogai Tatars, which was a different steppe confederation north of the Caucasus Mountains. But I think I could use a lot of these to represent both. I'll probably just label them, and you know, for the convention game. But yeah, and then I'll do this. This is like the rabble. I hope I didn't repeat myself. I think this is take 2 or 3, so I apologize. But I think I'll just keep this as like an objective or something in the camp. Yeah. And then what's next? You know, there's always something more. I'm gonna work on. This was another gift from my wife got me for my birthday, actually. I just haven't gotten to painting it, but here's King Sobieski. It's not quite focusing, but I've got King Sobieski and his kind of command retinue. So I think I'm going to paint up them. Now looking at it, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a lieutenant or if it's supposed to be King Sobieski in armor, and then this is like him without. No, I think this is supposed to be a sub-lieutenant, or like a lieutenant general, something like that. But yeah, so I'll do King Sobieski next, but for my game, I think I'm just going to keep him as like a Polish commander, a generic Polish commander, and then I'll also have him, obviously, if I ever want to play one of his campaigns, or someday if I get really crazy, try to wargame the Battle of Vienna. There's one thing I got to figure out is what to base him on, because I don't have any more Litko generic cavalry bases, and I think I should give him something more impressive. So I do have these 40 by 40 warlord, like infantry stands, but I think even with these 15s, they'll be pretty close together. So I think what I'm going to do is I had a larger set of warlord cavalry bases from the Marlborough starter army. I kind of put in my closet and I haven't worked on. I don't know if I will go back to that, which I'll talk about in a minute, I think, just projects in general. But I think I'll do this because this will probably allow me to get like more of a dynamic posing of them on the base. Like maybe I can put this guy there and then have like, King Sobieski here, and then I could put the standard bearer, like that or something. I'll think of something. But yeah, I think I'll do this and then do that. And then I have more of these, but these are just the ones I clipped. And then the next thing I have is the Sultan and his retinue, which is much bigger. Trying to remember, I think this is supposed to be the Sultan. This is from Khorasan as well, but I gotta look on the site, or this might be. Oh, sorry about that. I think this might be Suleiman. I have to check because you've got, he's got like a lot of companions with him. And I'm not sure who is supposed to be who exactly. So, because we've got like the flag bearer, we've got the I think he's the royal bow keeper. Oh man, I'm kind of a mess tonight. And then we've got another standard bearer. So I think these guys are going to have to go on 2 of these big cavalry bases, and then the Sultan will have a really big retinue. Yeah. So I think if I put the Sultan's retinue on 2 of these, that would be good. And then that way, like if I want to use one of these, like one of his companion commanders or companions, it's like another general, I can do that, and I could get two extra Ottoman command units for the price of 1, basically. And then if I have him in a scenario where he's the Sultan, I'm gonna have both together, obviously, to represent that. Yeah, so that's what's going on. I've been doing the streams, and talking about it on stream talking about things on stream, it's helped me think certain hobby stuff through, like, scaling issues. Like the scale stuff for me is, I used to be like all 28 millimeter, and I thought, I could never paint 15s, and when I had Flames of War, to be honest, I did not enjoy painting those very much. I may go back to those at some point, and I know they're a little slightly different kind of scale, but for it's close enough to 15 millimeter, I didn't really care for it. But now, as I'm been, moved quite a bit the last few years, and I'm more conscious of space, it's just really hard for me to justify doing like a 28 millimeter army right now. In the future that could change if my wife and I get more room, bigger place, and we have kind of more space to store things. But even then, we both have pretty large libraries and stuff like that. So, you got to make choices about what you keep. And I thought about that Marlborian starter army I bought, but I haven't worked on, because, if I really wanted to do that period, because there's a few things in that period I would want to war game. First of all, just like a Marlborian Austrian army, that would be cool to do. War of Spanish Succession, and even the French army. I've talked about this on the stream. I do admire Louis XIV as a leader. I think he was pretty. Actually, I think he was actually a pretty good leader, all things considered. Not really a villain, but that may be controversial. But the point is, like if I really wanted to do one of those armies, or do one for Great Turkish War, or do another thing I've thought about doing is the Prut River campaign between the Russians and the Ottomans, where Peter the Great is basically stopped for at least for a period of time, expanding into Ottoman territory. I would really want a big army for that, and doing it in 28 millimeter is just not, at this point, is not really practical for me. So I think from here on out, for me, it's probably going to be mostly 15s. If I do 28s, it'll have to be like a skirmish project, like maybe, one of those skirmish games, something like that. Just because I'm thinking about how much space my current 28 millimeter collection takes up, and it's really not that large, all things considered, but it does take up a lot of space in boxes. I just don't think if I keep going down this path of wanting to do bigger games and do bigger, like, actual historical scenarios, it's just not going to be feasible for me to do it in 28 millimeter. But again, I'm not like, I'm not saying 28 millimeter is bad. It's just like, for me, it's completely practical. And plus, like I've said before, since I started doing 15s, it's much better for me kind of mentally, from like, okay, I can sit down, and if I really put my mind to it, I could get like one unit done in one night of painting, or, at least one base, full base, even with the flock and everything, especially with these big cavalry armies. So, if you're out there and you kind of only do 28 millimeter, give 15s a try. I think it's worth it, at least just to, try something new, at least. And, you can always just paint a unit of something you're interested in, and, if you don't like it and, it's not for you, that's understandable too. But, then, it's the other thing with the scale is I am going to seriously commit to doing Battle of Ankara as like the next big battle. And I've talked about that in a past video, but I would like to just, I'll just go over quickly again that I think, because I only have to paint like one full new army, and then some new units for the Ottomans to represent the early 14th century, some early Janissaries, and then some more like archers, and because all my Ottomans are for kind of the high gunpowder period, and that sort of thing. So, if I tried to do that in 28 millimeter, it would take probably 2 years of painting, realistically, given my pace. And 15, I think, is just going to be more financially and kind of from a painting time management point of view, more economical. So, okay, well, that was kind of long. Sorry about that, but that's what's going on in the the desk. I try to do some more gaming videos when I can. It's just, table space is an issue here, so. But all right, well, thanks for watching, guys. And like I said, I should have King Sobieski and his guys painted next. And hope you like the Tatars. I do have a video from a couple years ago I did about the Crimean Tatar military. I summarized an old but very thorough article. It's like probably one of the few articles about Crimean Tatar military organization that have been written. But so you can go to my videos and find that if you want to take a look. And thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next video or on the next live stream. And have a good evening or a good day wherever you are.